What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Ethereum today. Looking at Ethereum, I don't think I've made a video on Ethereum in quite a long time. It's for being the second crypto, nobody seems to care about it. No, nobody's asking for videos. Maybe nobody that follows this channel at least. But let's talk about it. It deserves to be talked about. It is a very big dog in this crypto industry. Looking at it, maybe we could take this low to that high there. Come on now. The previous cycle low to the current cycle's high, the current all-time highs, and yeah, we got some nice respect on this. You can see on the monthly, we had a bounce at the 382 area, which is also kind of this previous area that we had a closing high at, right? You kind of closed in these same areas, closing low, closing high, very similar areas, and you bounced up. You went up from there. And looking at the RSI on the monthly, you're above the 50. You're actually coming down now, potentially testing the 50. Could you go below it on the monthly, find some support below it, and then turn up from there? Yeah, that's totally fine. This isn't like an end-all, be-all if you break the 50 here. You've actually here previously found literally found resistance right here at this level. I would say that this is the level. 52 is the level that you need to break. I would give that more significance than 50 at the moment, because look what happened last time, right? We went up to this and we came all the way back down. Could we be making a move right now that takes us all the way back down to the 382, right around $1,000? Maybe less, maybe a little bit higher, maybe it goes to 1,300, something like that. I think we could. I do think that's definitely in the cards. Rejecting this area, we've only done that really once in history before. We found support in this area even before, so I do think this line is the more significant one than the current line that we're at, which is 50. So if we break this, I'm not too concerned about it. We can go below it, find support, and then turn up from there. It's not a big deal. I would be concerned if we got lower than this low on a closing basis. That would be my concern. We could get down there in price. We could wick down there, but let's not get below it on a closing basis. And it would be nice to see overall, if you want to see Ethereum grow and you don't want to see it kind of shit the bed, it would be nice to maintain this higher low structure as well. But let's look into the weekly and kind of divulge this thing a little bit more. Yeah, man, it's definitely looking good on this fib chart. Showing some respect on the 382 there. You are above the 236. Let's see. You are hugging it, man, but you're kind of disrespecting it too, but you're hugging it right now. I would expect that you come down, but let's look and see what the RSI looks like on the weekly here. Looking at this, yeah, you had this nice little uptrend that you were in, right, for a second, and I think you're breaking out of it. I think you have broken out of it already, right? You had your higher lows here, whatever. You came back, and that might not be drawn to the best of my abilities. Let's see. Something like that. I don't know. And it disregarded it here. Maybe you were looking to hold it as support like here, but you didn't. You went below it, kind of tested it as resistance. I don't know. You were in this uptrend, and now you're not in it anymore. And let's see if you're in a greater downtrend or anything like that. I don't think you are. I mean, yes, you have a lower high here, but the bullish side of that, you were in this downtrend here. You can just follow this. You had these descending highs, descending lows, and you broke out of it. I definitely think that Ethereum has seen the end of its bear market. I would be surprised if we went lower than this, but would I be surprised if we went lower from here? I don't think so. I think that we very well could go lower from here. We went to the overbought zone barely. We rejected it. Anytime that we've been in the overbought zone on Ethereum's chart, yeah, this is like all-time history chart right here on Coinbase. We haven't really had too many instances where it's been on the weekly where we just went up like this and then came back down. Most of the time you stay in it, or you mess around with it for a little bit. But this one you went up and down. This one kind of up and down, but you stayed in it a little bit longer too. This one up and down, this one up and down. So let's compare what we've done in previous times when we've seen these kind of readings. So here, and I'll blow it up a little bit. You know what? I'm going to get rid of the long term. I just want to see real quick. We're above the 50. That's nice to see. We are above the 50. But we could go below it. That's okay. Anyways, I just wanted to look at that real quick to get an idea. And now I'm looking at the short-term RSI and comparing this kind of movement to anything else that we've seen that was like it, right? So here we went just into the overbought zone and then we came out. Let's see what happened there. So that was actually the all-time high. I don't think that we're going to see another bear market from here. This was kind of different readings, and we came from different levels in the RSI as well. But here, top to bottom, you did have a pretty quick flush out here of about 34%. Here, top to bottom, it wasn't as quick. It took a little bit more time, but overall you had about a 55% drop. I don't think you're going to see a 55% drop in Ethereum, at least not from the current price. Again, the only other time really that I would compare in the RSI, which it really isn't the same, but it would be this one here, which would be right here, you know, where you formed a double bottom and it was a slightly higher low actually. And you went from top to bottom here. You dropped quite a bit. Again, I don't think that we're going to drop 68%, but could we drop from this top here, you know, could we drop 34% like we saw that one time? Yeah, we could. Around there, that would make sense actually, around like 13 to 1500, somewhere in there. Could we drop lower than that? You know, could we drop 50%? I guess we could drop 50%. That is possible from the current, well, not from the current price, but from the high. From the high. Again, this is from the high, not from the current price. So we could come all the way back down, though I would think, honestly, I would like to see this low hold. This low, we can take that low out. That's fine, whatever. We'll likely take this low out, in my opinion, in the coming weeks, months, whatever. But I would like to see this low hold around $1,100 there. Looking at the daily, moving on down the chart here, we've kind of got some support, some significance on this 123, but it kind of looks like we largely disregard this line for Ethereum. You know, every chart's different, and sometimes you're finding support and resistance, but it's not the most regarded line compared to some charts that we've seen in crypto. Man, this would be where having the long-term RSI would actually be nice. I'm going to add it on there. Bear with me, guys. I'm just going to put it on there. Go to my favorites, relative strength. If you want to do this yourself ever, you know, here's kind of a how-to. Relative strength index, I like to put the long-term on there. I'm going to put it on top. I don't like the moving average, I don't like the, where is it, RSI based MA, so I get rid of that. I just like the RSI. I'm going to make it a different color so it stands out. Sure, red's fine. Yeah, we can make it like that. And then upper Bollinger Band, lower, I don't need any of that. Like whatever, I don't care for that. And then overbought gradient fill, oversold gradient fill, I don't need any of that. So Bollinger Band's background fill, I don't know. I don't need that either. But I think this is probably fine. Yeah, just like that. And now I'm going to make the input 123. Again, for those of you who don't know, if this is your first time seeing this, or maybe you just don't know any time that I've talked about it, but I like to pair the 123 moving average, which that's what this is here, the 123 moving average, with this long-term RSI, because there's certain behavioral things that happen with it, right? And you can see here, so the idea, before I get into it, is that if this RSI, the long-term RSI as I call it, is below the 50, but price is above the purple line, generally that's a great time to sell. If the long-term RSI is above the 50, but price gets below the purple line, it's generally a good time to buy. And you can see that here. This is the whole reason why I took my time to bring this back on. Yeah, so you are below the 50 on this RSI right here, and you went above the purple line. This would have actually been the best time to sell. And this, like literally, if you took the price just above the purple line here, anything that's above it, you sold at any point here compared to any of this move up, you killed it. You did really good. If you bought it like down here and you sold it up here, that's great. And again, you know to sell up here because you're below the 50 and you're above the purple line. Same thing over here. You're above the purple line, you're still below the 50, great time to sell. Out of this whole range, this next like phase down, same thing over here. You're above the purple line, but you're below the 50, great time to sell. Here, you went just below the purple line. It's a lot less time, but you were, I guess you weren't above the 50. You were kind of getting above the 50 though. I don't know. Sometimes, you know, there's exceptions, but like really what you did is you found support here and you started moving up. Even though you were below the 50, this should have been like obvious, more or less. Like it takes time, I think, to kind of figure out when these exceptions come into play. It's not a 100% guaranteed thing by any means, guys. No indicator is. This is just how I use it, you know, to kind of gauge myself. And then here you did dip below the 50 a little bit, but just with the way that you're acting with this RSI and everything in the 123 as it is, I feel like this would have been an obvious buy area. You were also oversold on the daily, so I don't know. I feel like that, and you have a higher low. Let's see if you got anything on the fibs. Yeah, you literally bounced off that 618. That should have been a more clear indication that this was a good time to buy, even though the RSI did go below the 50 here. But beyond all that, I'm sorry, I got a little sidetracked there, you guys. Looking at the RSI, the short-term RSI, you are rejecting the 50 here, where you found support before, where you found resistance before. I would expect that this does promote lower price action to come. Yes, we are above the 50 right now, but we're not too far above it. We could roll over, and this could come below the 50 as well and get us in shape for a move that takes us below these lows. If we were to go below those lows, where could we go? You know, I think that we could go, again, anywhere from like 13 to 1500 sounds about right. But yeah, 1523, you know, 1327 at the 1886, maybe 1400 all in all. Maybe we don't take out this low. I think we could take out this low, which is right at 1375, 1370, somewhere around there. We could take that low out and be totally fine for Ethereum, because overall you're kind of in this range for the fib right here. And you know, I guess, yeah, going below this line, you'd still be in that area where the 618 and the 69 is. If you guys know, if you've been following the channel, it's very common to go through the 618 actually whenever you come to it. It's not uncommon to bounce directly off of it, right? You can just have that kind of tip and bounce right off it, but more often than not, you do see price break through it a little bit, and oftentimes I feel like it goes right to that 0.69. And every chart's different. This one might be an exception. Maybe it doesn't go to the 0.69. But I would expect one way or another that we find a low for Ethereum somewhere in here, which at a more fine-tuned price range would be around 1400 to 1330, like quite literally in there. And does that make sense from a price perspective, not just from a fib perspective? Let's see. You know, right here, this range, well, I mean, first off, you got your low over here. You've got an area of resistance over here that you'd be like right above there. So yeah, I feel like that kind of makes sense. It doesn't look, let's see, let's put a line like smack dab at the bottom of this and right at the top there. Let's see. Yeah, you had support over here too in this kind of range. And then resistance there. Yeah, this very well could be where we go with Ethereum in the near term, you know. And then again, that does line up from bottom to top. That lines up with this deeper extensions around the 1618 to the 1886, somewhere in that range. So that all makes sense to me. I could see that. And then ultimately you'd be having this higher low structure forming right here. Maybe it's more, maybe it's a little tighter. Maybe it's like this. Let's see. Something like that, yeah. You know, something like that. Could you go below it? Yes. Do you have to go this low? No. You know, who knows? But this is, if I had an idea of where Ethereum was going from here, I would think that it's going to go somewhere around here, at least below this low at $1,620. I would definitely think that. It does not have to go below this low, but if it did, it wouldn't surprise me. And if we went slightly below it and turned around there, that's kind of what I would expect. A lot of people would probably panic. They'd be like, oh no, the higher lows are taken out, but really not really. You'd be forming a higher low still overall. So I don't know. That's my kind of general opinion at the moment. Let's see what we're doing in the very, very immediate term. Looking on the 4 hour here. Showing a little bit of respect on this 123 on the 4 hour actually. You are below the 50 here, and you're below the purple line. Probably going to go down. RSI is showing weakness at the moment, but kind of neutrality, but definitely weakness. You are in the bearish area of control. If you were to reject this area, close this red, you would definitely be making strides lower. I think it wants to go lower, man. I definitely do. So that's my overall opinion right now on Ethereum. I definitely think that we are about to, I keep saying definitely, I think that we are about to break out of this range here that we've been in since June 21st. And, you know, from there, maybe at the best case scenario, we form a higher low than this. But I kind of would expect that we do break this low. We don't have to. We really don't have to. But you know, overall, a drop, let's say we formed a higher low from there. Maybe it's like right here. That would be 18%. After coming out of the overbought zone here on the weekly, that would be just kind of a small shortfall for Ethereum. That's not something that I would necessarily expect. And you weren't getting into the overbought zones in the daily. You actually rejected it. This is kind of a neutral RSI all in all in the daily, but you're refusing to show strength. You did get into the oversold zone. I kind of would, and you showed some strength. Don't get me wrong. This is kind of like your strongest bout right here, but you still couldn't get into the overbought zones. You couldn't show your true power. So now you're rejecting the 50, looking like you want to roll over. I definitely think that prices, if not a higher low than this, which could be anywhere from about like 1650 to 1750, something like that, I would more anticipate those original prices around, I think it was 1330, 1130 to, I said 1330, I'm sorry, 1130. No, 1330 it was 1330. I'm sorry, to get my thoughts in order, guys. I think that Ethereum is likely going to go around $1,330 to $1,400, somewhere in that range. It's a very tight range. I don't normally do things that tight, but I think there's a lot pointing to that area. I mean, look, you know, we got our previous tops over here, right? That's right around 1330. Previous low right here, I mean, right around 1400. So somewhere in that range. That's kind of what I would be expecting. Do we have to go that low? No. Do we have to stop there? Could we go lower? Yes, we could. But that's the general expectation that I have. So if you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up. subscribe to see more, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.